Last time we looked at an air disaster. This time we look at one that happened at sea. Today's the last day we have on Barra. We catch the ferry early tomorrow morning. The weather forecast is a bit grim today, so we need to carefully think about what it is we do.
Welcome to the channel. We are Graham and Ellie. We are Wizard in the Wild.
So, woke up this morning to some gentle buffeting. It was not very windy here. We're in a sheltered spot. And these fellas, oh, you can only see one at the moment, this fella here and its baby were deciding to rub their noses on our van. So I could hear this boom, boom, boom. I think they quite like the step, actually. So, yeah, I wondered what on earth it was. But, yeah, these two cows were having a good old scratch on Merlin. Cheeky. Seems to be a bit of Highland mist out here today as well. Good morning, Maya. It's our penultimate morning on the Outer Hebrides. So make the most of your lie-in, because we won't get one tomorrow because the ferry leaves at 6 o'clock. So we will be up at least 5. Maybe earlier. And how are you, Lunabelle? Sleeping on my bed? And Jazzy's having none of it. Hello, Jazz. Hey, you cosy in your little cocoon? You look like you are. So this morning we're making the beds, aren't we, dear? While the rain stopped.
With a Maya on the bed.
With a little helper. Thanks, Maya. We've had to move her about 4 times while making the bed, much to her disgust because she's having a lie-in. Still, thanks for your help.
I'm trying to find the Annie Jane Shipwreck Memorial and to tell you a little bit about it. It's up here somewhere.
Difference a day makes. Ooh. Grey and wet today, not very cold. But yeah, glad we got to where we went to yesterday. That was really lovely being able to do those things in the sunshine. Even though, I must admit, I love Scotland even when it's like this. The rain seems so much nicer up here than it does where it's all built up with houses and everything. Just part of nature, isn't it? Once you've got the right coat, you're fine. So Graham's looking for a memorial up on top of the hill and I'm playing Dodge the Cowpats with Jazz.
The Annie Jane set off from Liverpool to Canada on the 8th of September 1853. On board were immigrants and cabin passengers and crew, over 400 souls in total. But on the 12th of September the weather deteriorated and the foremast head snapped and the ship was disabled. For days the ship drifted at the mercy of the wind and the seas. Further damage to the masts led the captain to decide to run the ship aground here on West Bay on Battersea. However, without adequate sail and the gale blowing from the wrong direction, the vessel was carried by the storm onto the reef where it went aground bows first. It broke apart and was soon destroyed by huge swell driving into the bay. The final count was 101 survivors who were looked after by the small population of islanders. Bodies from the wreck washed ashore for days afterwards. There are no trees on these islands, so it was impossible to make coffins for the dead. So large pits were dug in these dunes and mass burials took place. The exact location of the graves has sadly been lost over the passage of time. Some years later this monument was erected. Well, this is the Annie Jane Memorial. It's quite fitting, it overlooks the bay where the ship went down. And what a view. Don't know if you can see some surfers out there. I'll try and zoom in on them. Oh wow. Oh. We could pay here in this honesty box, but I'm going to drive to the building up the road and pay there and check out the facilities. So if you stay here, you'll know what's available.
Clear left. Graham's on the hunt for a bacon roll, but he doesn't think he's going to be lucky. There is a little community centre up here, but a lot of things are closing for the winter. They don't necessarily stay open into October. But we've got to pay our donation anyway, so that's what we will do. It's only a couple of 100 yards up from where we were parked. There's a cow right there. Hello, cow. So it's Battersea Community Hall. It's just been to pay our donation. It's £10 for overnight here. It seems like Battersea and Barra tend to charge £10, whereas Lewis and Harris and the Ewists was more £5 a night. There's the three little stooges ready for the off. They're all in the wrong place today. Maya should be by the window at the bottom. She's on the outside. Luna's sitting next to Jazz. Jazz isn't impressed because Luna tells her off if she causes a fuss. And they're all looking a bit tired. So we're catching the ferry tomorrow, very, very early. I think our check-in is at 6 o'clock, or that might even be when the ferry sails. It's a 5.5 hour trip to Oban. Looking forward to that. I mean, I think it will depend on the weather, but it's a very pretty journey through lots of little islands. And obviously it takes you further south, so we won't be going back to Skye this trip. But it has been the most amazing journey. I wouldn't like to say it's a holiday. It's been hard work. We've really squeezed every moment out of every day. You just feel like you want to because you might miss a beautiful beach or something. It just lures you in, and you really need to spend 6 weeks on these islands, 3 to explore and 3 to relax. So Graham says there are beautifully clean toilets in there and showers as well. £1 each, £1 a shower. Brilliant. And there's the cow, the custodian cow. See, that's what made me think there was a coffee shop. There's like little chairs.
It is a coffee shop.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, today's specials. There aren't any.
So no bacon roll for me. But at least the toilets and showers were lovely and warm.
Even on the greyest of days, the sea just looks a beautiful turquoise. It's just absolutely glorious, isn't it, Gray?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. It never looks sort of grey, just turquoise.
Maybe there's some plants that blow fresh land sort of thing.
Yeah, not
Not
really.
full on impact.
Wouldn't you?
You can up there.
Would have been nice, wouldn't it? Ruins of that house. There's definitely a Nordic sort of feel to this place. It feels closer to somewhere like Norway than it does the south of England, definitely. Whether it's the red roofs or the low-lying houses, I don't know. We're off to Castlebay now, which is the main area where people live and visitor centre is and everything. And just look at how thoughtful they are with their bus stops.
As we're driving along, we catch sight of the Barra War Memorial. I'm sending Ellie out for this one.
The Islands of Barra and Battersea War Memorial commemorates the First and Second World War. It was actually unveiled in November 1993. It's a bit unusual because it's a pillar with 3 sides of polished black marble and the other 3 edges are unpolished granite. It's unusual as well because it's a triangular shape. On top you can see these sort of sculptural forms, and they're actually supposed to represent angelic figures. It's quite a beautiful memorial. Yes, I think that is the school. Yes, it is. It's Castlebay School. And then there's a sports centre next door. I hope you can see that castle. It's called Kissimall Castle. What a lovely name. And it appears to float out of the water at high tide, which it kind of looks like now, actually. I know it's not a very good view, but I thought I'd like to share it with you. Come forward, and then I know it's a lot of manoeuvring, but you wouldn't block the road. You don't have petrol stations as such. We've only found one so far on all of the islands. You have these little pumps, and we think you go and pay in the shop. There's a very nice man came out and told us it was a one-way street, which we did know, but Graham had to reverse because of the side that we fill the van up. So yeah. So that what looks like a house over there with a man in the window, I don't know if you can see him, it's a shop. And that's where you pay. You could easily miss it. So this is us parked up at Castlebay for a little while. We can't really stay for very long because we've got to go and track down a signal, a phone signal, and Graham's just disappeared to go and take some film of Kissimall Castle that you can just about see through the raindrops there. And there's a little shop that I want to pop into as well. And maybe we'll try and find the distillery while we're here. Has to be done. And then we're going to head back north to try and pick up a signal.
Look at the mist descending on the church up on the hill there.
This grey building with the white van and red car outside is a shop. Looks like a house, but it's an Aladdin's cave. Can you see it? That grey building with the brown door and the lights on. They have got everything in there. Dog leads, paint, carpets, well, just anything. Lamps, clocks. It's like an old-fashioned hardware shop that just sells everything you could need, really. So if ever you're on the islands and you think, oh, my dog lead's broken, or whatever, random thing happens, even strepsils you can buy there. So they do food as well.
And SD cards. And
SD cards, Graham tells me. And keyboards. I mean, it is so random, but so useful. So if you're ever on Barra and you need to find something, you'll probably get it in that lovely shop. Can't tell you the name of it because it doesn't have one. They don't tend to advertise. The only shops that seem to advertise at all are the co-ops and distilleries and things like that. Okay.
I did investigate this when we got home, and it's called the Top Shop. Apparently, it's at the top of the street. It was also Captain Waggett's house in the film Whiskey Galore. Anybody recognise this guy? Let us know if you do. We're on the prowl for internet.
We're having to park here. There's the ferry port over there. because we can't get any internet, but you do get it with CalMac. So we're parking here for an hour or so Graham can finish the vlog, do the admin and upload it. And then I think we're heading towards the distillery and the co-op.
It's Thursday and I haven't finished the vlog yet.
And when does the vlog come out?
Thursday.
Oh no. Da, da, da. That's my
time?
scary music voice.
It's 12 o'clock and the vlog's out at 4.
Quick, crack on, crack on. What are you waiting for? Huh?
That laptop to boot up?
Oh, okay. I'll let you off. It's bad, isn't it, when we have to park on the pavement just to get a signal.
Yeah, we're at the CalMac ferry port.
We've been driving around for ages trying to find a signal. Haven't managed it. But CalMac do provide you internet while you're in the queue. But we can't queue yet because it's not till tomorrow.
Right, thank the Lord the upload's done. Now we're heading out to the Isle of Barra distillery shop.
And there's the Barra distillery. The Isle of Barra.
Yeah, it's honestly lovely.
Well, I don't drink gin myself, but I certainly found the shop very interesting, and we did buy a couple of bottles.
Since then, whenever I've got it
Ellie tells me that it's a lovely gin and it's all in the botanicals. I'm a whiskey man myself.
whenever I've got it around, I love just and having a sprinkles. I have a little splash. It doesn't need much. So it's really awesome.
Scotland has its own money notes, and this £10 note has Mary Somerville on it. Mary was a famous scientist and writer, and she was also one of the first female members of the Royal Astronomical Society. A real star. Did you see what I did there? With the weather closing in, neither Ellie or I really feel like getting out and walking around very much. We just don't really feel like getting wet again. So, we're just going to have a drive round, look at the island, see if we can find somewhere nice to park up, and maybe have a little sleep. In the end, St Barr's Catholic Church at North Bay was a place where we could park and I could get my head down. Meanwhile, Ellie braved it and got outside and had a look round.
While Graham has a snooze, I'm going to have a look round the community garden. It's really pretty. It's amazing how much thought has gone into it all. And look at these statues. I'm wondering if that's the Virgin Mary on the stone on the hill. So much love and care has gone into this little garden. And you can see Merlin over there. I wonder if Graham's still sleeping. This memorial is dedicated to the actor John Loder. And here was I, thinking I was all by myself. But no, I have a lovely companion. Look at this old fella. He's gorgeous. He looks as though he's seen quite a lot of action in his time. Maybe he's just checking me out to make sure I don't steal anything. He's gorgeous. This building ahead of me is a cafe. It's closed today. I'm hardly surprised looking at this rain.
So who do you feel most sorry for? Me, missing the look around, or Ellie out in the cold wind and rain? Let us know in the comments what you think.
Well, I'm getting soaked out here, so I'm going to get back in the dry.
Right, I feel better after a nap. Now we're heading back to Castlebay.
It'll sink in a lot more.
Well, the weather really is closing in now, and there's only one word to describe it. Grim. Traffic jam!
For the island of Barra, we're just entering a massive forest. Just about the only trees we've seen on Barra. We're just circling round looking for a level parking spot for the night. Kissimmel Castle is looking a bit spooky in the mists. The ferry there is docked ready for the morning. It's one of the bigger ones. It's the Isle of Lewis. This spot will do for us. So there's a nice cup of coffee here. And look at the funny patterns that's making. Right, Ellie is preparing a sandwich. Not just any sandwich. Tell us about it, Ellie.
Well, this is a George Stoker sandwich that he recommended. We haven't been able to track one down. So, I'm a bit out of my comfort zone here. This is a haggis and cheese toasty.
You sure you haven't got that mixed up with the dog food?
Stop it.
That is the haggis,
That is the haggis. I've just fried it.
Okay, good.
And then I'm going to put it with the cheese and make it into a toasty because George reckons they're really tasty. So obviously this is a vegan haggis, so we can both have it. But Graham's got cheese with his.
And I think we've got chips with it as well, haven't we?
Yes, we have. The chips are in the oven. So, toast cheese and haggis toasty with chips. We'll let you know what we think, George.
And I think Jazz is getting very excited by it all.
Yeah, well, you are a haggis.
You won't get too excited because it's vegan, Jazz.
No. You've not learnt this
Mind
yet.
you, she'll eat anything, won't she?
She will. She likes corn.
Yeah, she likes
vegan
anything.
ham,
She likes seaweed as well.
Oh, don't. We won't talk about that. We've had a bad day with you, haven't we? Both ends. Just leave it there. And in a camper, that's not a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to this. Well, there's my haggis and cheese sandwich with some chips.
All melty.
Oh, wow, yes. If I hand you the camera, Al, I'll take a bite of it.
Okay.
Oh, it's hot. Oh, yeah, very nice. Yeah, I can see why George recommended that.
Yeah, tasty.
Yeah.
Good. Enjoy. Whew, it's made the van very hot cooking that. 28.9 degrees with no heating on. Both sweltering because I did chippies as well. Very hot.
As we munch away, we're joined by a couple of other campers parked up against the harbour wall. Some of the sweeties we like to eat when we're driving are these. They're lovely minty ones. It's always a pain when they're in the packet, so we have to put them. We don't have to, but we put them in little pots. So they're easily accessible when we're driving. One pot for Ellie, one pot for Graham, and as you can see, I've got the least in mine.
That must be a mistake. I should think that'll end up with a pink lid on it. Yeah, there we go. Didn't you just know it?
We're just taking the doggies for a little walk. I meant to say there is drinking water and chemical toilet disposal here, like most other ferry ports on these islands. So bear that in mind when coming here. It's very useful.
Trying to pick up a bit of internet.
Well, as we settle down for the night, we've got an early ferry in the morning. You can catch that next time when we get ready to leave these islands.
if you're enjoying following our adventures in Scotland, please do like, subscribe, and most importantly, do remember to comment. More comments will help us to keep producing more vlogs for you on YouTube, so do keep them coming.